Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live once again from the beautiful city of Hamilton in New Zealand. Yeah, we had a very interesting day here today. We had an announcement from our Prime Minister at 4 o'clock today, our time. So she has been she and a host of other senior government officials, including the finance minister, have been coming live practically every day and giving us an update on what exactly is happening with the COVID-19 situation. And the latest update is that we are going to have another 1 week of level 4 lockdown. So they have extended the level 4 lockdown, which is the highest level of the lockdown, to go on till the midnight of the coming Monday. So at 11:59 p.m. On Monday, the lockdown will shift down to level 3. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. And just to give a bit of an update, it looks like New Zealand is doing really well in coping with this particular disease and managing to hang in there. Our total confirmed cases as of last count are 1,105. 974 have recovered, and there have been unfortunately 12 deaths. Our deepest condolences to all the family members of these very unfortunate fatalities in this rampant disease that is going right across the world. So yeah, that's where we are at, and I think overall the flattening of the curve has occurred, and the new cases which were announced last were in the single digits. So overall, I think New Zealand is gearing up to fight this really well. Just as a citizen who lives here in this country, of course, I also do promote New Zealand as a destination, but purely as a New Zealander living in New Zealand, I must say that I believe we are having some very effective leadership. And because of this leadership and the way the whole country is coming together to fight this, I think we will be one of the countries that will get out of this crisis faster than the others. Of course, for a company like AGV, which depends on students and migrants being able to cross borders and come into New Zealand. We hope that the day is not too far away when the government also announces some kind of easing of restrictions on the borders. But even as we speak, I'm sure that there are various committees and subcommittees and leaders in the different departments of the government, especially to our industry pertaining to immigration and international education, I'm sure are putting their very sensible heads together and coming out with some kind of solution to this absolutely crazy pandemic that has swept the world. I haven't seen anything like this in my 51 years of being on Mother Earth. And yeah, it's been a strange sort of experience. But I must say again that if there is one country that I'd rather be right now, it's New Zealand, and very thankful for all my fellow citizens and everybody else who lives here for the kind of cohesive effort that is happening to try and control this as quickly as we can. All right, as always, coming live on YouTube, on my channel, Arun Jacob, and on AJV Global channel, and also coming live on the AJV Global page, which will, of course, get shared. And today I couldn't, for some reason, get started on Instagram because I normally put my phone and, chuck it onto a stand by the side of my computer, and I kind of stream through Instagram. But today, when I try to get inside there, it said that Instagram I've been logged out, and when I tried to log in, it asked for passwords, and it was too close to my time of going live, so I didn't have time. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to post it to Instagram. After those, there's my license as always. That's the license that was given to me by the government of New Zealand, which allows me to practice as a licensed immigration advisor and sit here and provide information to all you wonderful, beautiful people who come and follow my live broadcasts and those of my colleagues and fellow licensed advisors week after week. So, yeah, thanks for this opportunity, and I look forward to answering your questions today. I'm going to take a quick break here, and okay. Tim, can you confirm that I am live on Facebook and on both the YouTube channels, please, before we go ahead? And I'm going to quickly take a look at Facebook to see what else I can answer. There are always some of our regulars who come online to follow my regular Monday broadcasts. And as always, my good friend and fantastic AJV clients, Anant and O'Neill, have made their appearance. So, warm welcome, guys. Hope you're all coping well with the lockdown. I think it's only a matter of time before we guys all come out of this situation and keep moving forward. Okay. So, while I'm waiting for the questions, I'm also going to talk today about Lincoln University because as has been our norm every week, and not just myself but also my other colleagues who are coming live, we've decided we're going to talk about one particular New Zealand institution, and thus give emphasis in each live session that we can talk about one particular institution. So, talking about Lincoln University, well, what do I say about it? The first query that most people have about Lincoln University is about the name, and people think that it is named after Abraham Lincoln. And I was there recently before this lockdown. I was in Christchurch because AJV was the proud sponsor of the test match between India and New Zealand, which was played in Christchurch not too many weeks ago. So I was there for an entire week, and as the sponsor, so I had all these VIP passes that allowed me to get all around the ground and everywhere else. So I was in the sort of the VIP lounge, and rubbing shoulders with Richard Hadley and the greats of New Zealand cricket. And I also had an opportunity to meet a lot of our Indian cricketers as well. But while I was there that week, I also went to Lincoln University. And I met the director of international. I met the senior international manager and a couple of other people from the international team. And I also met a few of my students who are studying at Lincoln University. And while we were there, myself and my colleague Nick, who is our in-house video producer, we also made a lovely walkthrough of Lincoln University. So if you go to my channel or you go to the AJB Global channel, you should be able to see the walkthrough that we did of Lincoln University. And when we started the walkthrough, my first question was, hey, is Lincoln University named after Abraham Lincoln, or is it something else? And so, the international manager who was taking me around. His name is Julian Baker. So Julian said, no, it's got nothing to do with Abraham Lincoln. And the fact is, it is located in a city called Lincoln, which is just south of Christchurch. So, Christchurch is the big city, and Lincoln is sort of like on the outskirts of Christchurch. So, because this institution is based in Lincoln suburb or Lincoln city of Christchurch, overall larger area, it is called Lincoln University. So Lincoln University is quite old. It was started in the 18th century and I think after 1850 sometime. So I'll not get too much deep into the history of the institution because all that is something you'll find on the website anyway. So I'll give you my personal opinion about Lincoln University. So one of the first things that comes to mind when we think about Lincoln University is that it's got some fantastic courses related with agriculture and aquaculture and those kinds of agriculture sort of courses, because that's the kind of background that Lincoln University has. So they've always had a very strong, linkage to agriculture and research and that sort of thing. But over the years, the institution has evolved. So they now also have very well advanced departments in information technology and sciences and business and everything else. But one of the standout courses for us at Lincoln University always has been their department in food science, and this has done extremely well for a lot of our students who have gone to Lincoln University to do the masters in. I think they call it food technology, which is really food science. So they that has been sort of been the flagship program where our students have chosen to go to Lincoln, and most of the students, if not everybody, who's been to this particular program has gone on to procure jobs because there is a pretty big shortage of food scientists in New Zealand at the moment, and food scientists are also in what is called the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. So they've done extremely well, and I have personally um, process the resident visa applications of a lot of the students who went to Lincoln, finished the course, got out, found a job because of their studies there at Lincoln University, especially from food science. While I was there recently, they also talked to me about a lot of other interesting. Areas they have as well. They have landscape architecture. They have, sports and recreation management was something again that they were highlighting about, and so that's something which they are very keen to promote. And Lincoln has always had a very strong reputation as one of the schools from where good sports people emerge. In fact, in I don't know, a lot of my viewers I think follow cricket, and the one of the latest superstars of New Zealand cricket called Kyle Jamieson, the tall bloke who's bowling really well. Yeah, he's a Lincoln graduate as well. So sports and recreation management is something that they're laying a lot of emphasis upon. There's a very interesting aspect about Lincoln University. The official headquarters of uh, Lincoln of the official headquarters of Cricket New Zealand, so to speak, is on the Lincoln University campus. So they actually have a beautiful ground there where the Black Caps go and practice, and there are also a few international matches that are played on that ground. So Lincoln University has its own international cricket ground, so to speak, and then they also have the high performance. Sports facility where the Black Caps, which is the New Zealand cricket team, they go and practice there as well. So a lot of emphasis on sports and recreation management. Their business courses are fantastic. While I was there, I also came away very impressed with their uh, enology or viticulture, which is the production of grapes and wine, studies of wine making and that sort of thing. So that was quite interesting. And the campus is very nice. It's very secure. They have an security continuously around. There's some good accommodation on site. Every student gets free membership of the gym. Christchurch City is not too far away; it's only 10 minutes away. So you could potentially be living in Lincoln City, which is lower on the cost of living, because it's not in the main Christchurch city. But you could be, if you're a student, you could be going and working in Christchurch and then come back within no time back to Lincoln. So yeah, great campus, fantastic infrastructure, very friendly people. And like I said, to get more details, just go to that walkthrough that I did with Julian while I was there. And we have a close rapport with Lincoln. And in fact, end of this month on the 30th, we are actually doing a live Zoom meeting, Zoom session, Zoom webinar with the senior lecturer from the sports and recreation management. As well as their international manager and myself, so that we can talk to you about how we can create a career through this course in Lincoln University, and what are all the highlights of the university, as well as how we can, stay on in New Zealand and work in that particular area and create a career. So in the future, so do stay tuned for an announcement which will be coming shortly on. Um, all our online platforms. So yeah, that's where we are. So that is my wrap up about Lincoln University. Strongly recommend it. Please consider it very seriously, and it has got our students have had some amazing outcomes. Whoever have been there. All right. So that's a wrap on Lincoln University. I'm gonna take a sip of water as always from my monogrammed mug, which you guys are all familiar by now. Right, and we shall then move on. Okay, first question is from Warada Ibrahim. He says, "Hi, with great respect, requesting you to support me to migrate under skill program." Hey, and Varda has shared this number. Hey guys, the rules of this chat are quite simple. You want my answer? You gotta either confirm that you're an AGV client or you are willing to share your number so that we can get back in touch with you and speak to you later. So, Varda, thanks for sharing your number. It's an interesting country code. I can't quite make out from 255 where that is from, but skill migration, the way it works. Varada, to New Zealand is that yes, we have a requirement of skilled migrants. I know, of course, with the COVID situation now, I guess the government is going to sort of revamp and see how they're going to address it. But it's only a matter of time before we all come back out of it, and in a few months' time, we will all be looking back at this time particular period in. Where we are all grappling with COVID, but things will get back to normal sooner than later. And so, a skilled migrant category, the way it works, Varda, is that you need to get 160 points. So, these 160 points are are accrued from your age, your qualification, your work experience, if you're married, your spouse qualification, so on and so forth, which industry you're from, what's your qualification, whether the qualifications and the experience match some of our long-term skill shortage lists. So that's the sort of addition that occurs. So when we add up all your points, and if you're getting 160 points, then you will be eligible to do something called an expression of interest. Technically, you can also put in an expression of interest if you're below 160 points as well. But really, there is no point because you will not get picked from the pool, and it's just a waste of your money to put in those applications. And despite our best advice, a lot of people still keep doing that because they're somehow hopeful that they will get picked, but it's not going to happen. So if you get 160 points, you can put your application, and it's called an expression of interest. And if you get picked, then you'll be given an invitation to apply for something called a skilled migrant category job search visa. This is for people who do not already have a job in New Zealand, or who do not have an offer of employment in New Zealand, because for you to be granted a resident visa in New Zealand, there are two very important criteria. You need to tick off at least one of these criteria. One, you should either have a job in a skilled employment in New Zealand, or have an offer of skilled employment in New Zealand, or you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years, and you should have acquired either a master's or a PhD. So if you don't tick off one of these two boxes, then even if you get the 160 points, then all you will be eligible for is called a skill migrant category job search visa. And this job search visa will allow you to come into New Zealand for a period of time, and be able to find the job that's relevant to your qualifications and your prior experience. And once you get the job, then you will definitely get the additional points towards crossing, way beyond that 160. But you will also then would have ticked off that box which says that do you tick at least one of these boxes. So that's the way it works, Vardha. So at the moment, skilled migrant category is not really feasible for people who are outside. Direct skilled migrant is not possible, the visa. But if you are interested, and if you're getting the 160 points, then you could potentially apply for the skilled migrant category job search visa. But a lot of people who are married, I don't know from your post, I can't say whether you're single or you're married, are not keen to leave their families and come to New Zealand. Which is why a lot of them also decline to go down the job search visa pathway. What is the other option? Come into New Zealand on student visa, study for a year, and then if you're doing the right level of course, you will get a 1, 2, or 3 years of post-study work visa. So you have granted legitimate work visa for 3 years, and you have a local qualification. Finish that qualification, take your post-study work visa, find a relevant job, and then you will definitely cross that 160. And you're also taking off that box which says that you have skilled employment in New Zealand. So that's the way it works. Vardha, I have a few videos on my channel, on Arun Jacob as well as on AJV Global, where I have extensively explained this in much more detail. Go take a look at them, but you've shared your number anyway, so one of our team members will get in touch with you and explain to you further. Don't shy away from taking the study plus skilled migrant category pathway, because a lot of people think, oh, but I'm either too old or it's too much of an investment. And I keep saying that it's not a very big investment, considering the fact that you will be able to work part-time while you're studying. So more than likely you will be able to recoup some of the investment you made, and at least take care of your living expenses. But even otherwise, you get 1, 2, or 3 years of post-study work visa. You will definitely recoup whatever investment you've made. Plus, give yourself the best chance of being able to apply for a skilled migrant category visa. All right. So, yeah, I tried to explain it in as much of a nutshell as I could, because there are other people who are waiting for their questions to be answered as well. But do talk to our AJV advisors, Varda, and we will engage you in a much longer discussion. All right. Question from Amon, but there is no number, so I'll have to skip that. Anant, of course, I will answer because he is a very dear AGV client. So he says, Sir, I just a real quick one. Is it true the borders are country not gonna open till next year? As I'm concerned on this, as I want to go to India this coming December. Okay, Anant, I will need to clarify to you that there will be a lot of rumors that will be circulating at this time, because people are, when people are in a bit of a no man's land and there's no certainty around things, rumors start very easily. Especially, I've noticed in the migrant community, the rumors tend to start and spread very fast. So I wouldn't say don't listen. I mean, don't listen to all of. I will say don't listen to all of them. Uh, right now, let's wait for the government to give an announcement. Like today before the prime minister made an announcement that it's going to continue for another 1 week of for a lockdown. For another week. There were all kinds of rumors again. Some kept saying that it'll get extended by another 4 weeks, and some said no, no, we're going to slip down straight to level two, and so I think we need to wait for the official confirmation. You just have to stay hopeful because you're looking only at December, Anant, and I'm quite certain that they will do something by the time. Because hey, look, more than anybody else, I'd be very, how do I put it, in a very bad situation if the borders don't open till next year, because our entire business for AJV depends on people being able to cross borders. So I believe I have a lot of faith and belief in the government of New Zealand that they will put measures into place where I think opening the borders is possible, and it's also critical for this country because this country depends a lot on tourism, and it depends quite a bit on international students, and those kinds of things are very critical for the economy of New Zealand. So hang in there, don't listen to the rumors, and if the moment I get any information, I promise you I will pass it on to you. All right? Yeah. Melinda asked me a question, but I don't know. There's no the thing number there. So O'Neill says, as always, Arun, your smile says it all. Thanks, O'Neill. I don't know. I have stayed extremely positive, and I'm not saying it because I sit here and run a business that promotes New Zealand. But I don't know. Deep in my heart, I've not once felt apprehension during this entire COVID. In fact, for us as a company and AJB, this was our big year. It was supposed to be our biggest year of growth because um, we've been prepping and prepping, and we've been doing very good work, and we were so ready to explode onto the stage. And in fact, today, I might as well use this opportunity to welcome my latest colleague called Jaya, who joined us as a marketing manager with our team in India. And so we were so buoyant about our growth that we even brought in a very strong professional to head our entire marketing department. And but then this happened, but for not even once, I had that jittery feeling that, oh, it's all going to collapse around us. And so I've decided I'm going to just wait and tide it over and be positive and keep smiling. So thanks for recognizing that, O'Neill. And so when I keep saying positive things, guys and girls, it is not something I'm saying for the heck of saying because I promote New Zealand. It's honestly and genuinely something I feel inside me that I'm very positive that this whole thing will be controlled and managed. I have a lot of faith in our scientific community, and by I don't mean just New Zealand scientific community, but of the global scientific community. I have a lot of faith on in the government of New Zealand. I have a lot of faith in the society of New Zealand that we will make this go away quicker than ever. So yeah, let's all hang in there. Nupur Tiwari says, hope you're all safe. Yes, Nupur, thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well as well. Okay. There is a question from Bishash, but there is no number. So, and nor does he mention whether he is one of our AGV client. Um, and Munna says, hope all of you are staying safe. Thanks, Munna, for that. Yeah, absolutely. And I likewise, thanks for wishing us Sunanda Basu. Hi, Sunando. Sunanda is one of our wonderful AGV clients. So always a pleasure to wave out and say hello to our clients. Hope you guys are doing well, Sunando. There is a query from Aprajit Anand, no number, so I'll have to keep skipping all this and keep moving on. Then there is another one. Uh, okay, this is a bit of a more generic question, so I will probably answer that, although there is no number there. So somebody is asking me about the requirements for IELTS for an undergraduate course. So when by undergraduate, I don't know. Kevin, is it Kevin? What exactly is the undergraduate? But if you're looking at a bachelor's program, then I can tell you that you're looking at an IELTS score of 6 with no band score lower than 5.5. That is what is required to be able to take a certificate or diploma at level 6, a diploma or degree at level 7, or a graduate certificate or diploma at. I answered that question. Moving on. Vivek Dhawan says, hi Arun. Hey Vivek, hope you're doing well. Finally, there is somebody with a number. Okay. There is a number call from somebody called Ramesh Nagaraj who will share this number and says, hi Ramesh, residing in Abu Dhabi from India. Okay, hey Ramesh, I'm planning to go to do graduate diploma in New Zealand. Will you please guide me? And my query is, are the universities in New Zealand universities providing scholarship or not for Indian students? Okay, good question. And Ramesh has shared his number as well. So happy to answer that question. So Ramesh, we certainly can help you. I mean, that's the business that AGV is, and we help young, brilliant students like you to be able to find a proper course in New Zealand and also get into the right city, the right college at the right cost, and of course with the right counselors as well. So that's what we do. And yeah, so we will be, because you've shared your number, we'll be happy to get in touch with you and check what subject you're looking at and all the other details. And then your next question is, are New Zealand universities providing scholarships? There are certain scholarships, definitely. It's not like we don't have any scholarships. There are not a lot of them, but once we talk to you, we will also ascertain to see, because sometimes this scholarships is not like a fixed list. So sometimes institutions suddenly come out with ad hoc scholarships, if I can use that term. And then they have scholarships for a particular period. I'm expecting more scholarships now that COVID-19 hit the international education industry, and I'm sure institutions would want to get more students back. So, yeah, possibly there is a potential for more scholarships to come through. So, thanks for sharing your number. We'll get in touch with you and discuss more. Okay, cool. Right, Sumit Bhatia shared this number. Thanks, Sumit. Appreciate that. And says, hello, sir. My wife is on student visa in New Zealand and she came back to India in her holidays but stuck now due to lockdown. Is there any way to come back to requesting INZ because her visa is still August? Okay. Interesting query, Sumit. At the moment, I don't think your case will fall under something called the exceptional category, where there will the immigration New Zealand will look and say, okay, you can now go back to New Zealand. So it's being very strictly monitored. But the point is, because of the break in everything that has occurred due to COVID-19, I'm sure the institutions will make amends for it. I'm sure Immigration New Zealand will make amends for it and, further extend the visas if required. So I don't think there is anything to worry for you guys except tide over this particular. And there have been, I don't recall the exact details right now, but there have been notifications coming to us saying that certain visas are automatically getting extended, so on and so forth. So I would say stay in touch with us, speak to our team in India, and this is the time for me to come out with that little notice here, which talks about our contact numbers in India as well as in New Zealand. We are 100% operational both in India and in New Zealand. So feel free to call us on our toll free numbers or email us, and we will get back to you. All right. But Sumit, I don't think you have anything to worry about too much because I think Immigration New Zealand will make adjustments for all these visas which are going to expire and people are stuck and they can't come back. So they understand all this. They will definitely make some changes. Even if they don't allow her to come back right now, I think going forward they will do some readjustments of the visa dates. All right. So don't worry too much. Okay. Vivek asked me a question, no number there, so I'm going to keep moving forward. Guys, girls, everybody, please requesting you. You want my answer, please share your number. That's the least I expect in giving out my free advice to all of you. Of course, to my AGV clients, we will give out as much information as we can. But for the rest of you who are not AGV clients, if Sumit, for instance, his wife, I don't think came to New Zealand through our agency, but because he had the courtesy of sharing his number, and that's a commitment I made, saying, "Give me your number, and I will call you back." Sorry, I'll answer your question, and our team will call you back, and assist you as best as we can. Okay, so please share your numbers. All the guys and girls who posted a query and I did not answer, and I've been scrolling. Just come back and post your number again, and I will answer your question. Okay, right. I'm gonna catch my breath and have a sip of water. Radio. Gurpreet Gujarat. Hi Arun, hope you're doing well. I have admission offer from Victoria University, fantastic university. It was processed from another firm, but I'd like to get my and my family visa processed AGV. Is it possible? Absolutely, Gurpreet. I mean, well, we are quite sad that we couldn't do your student visa, but hey, look, we are more than happy to assist your family members to get a visa to we ideally would have liked to do the entire lot, but that's okay. You still come to us and we would be delighted to work with you. It's not, yeah, I mean, unfortunately a lot of our clients like yourself come to us after they have already started the process with somebody else, so be it. Doesn't matter. We are still happy to accept you as HAV clients for your family. So Gurpreet, you've shared your number, so one of our team members, Neha, will get in touch with you. Neha works with our Neha Sehgal is the person who will give you a call and talk to you, because Neha is one of our team members who works specifically in the partnership and the children sort of visas department, and she works with our licensed immigration advisors Navya Sikka and Tulika Mehra, who are also both based in India, and all three of them, including Neha, are ex-immigration officers of New Zealand, and Neha is also undertaking her course, of course, and very soon she'll be hope to see her with her own license. But get in touch with Neha Sehgal, or Neha Sehgal will get in touch with you, and you can call this number, our toll free number in India, which is 1-800-103-6525, and ask to be connected to Neha Sehgal, and she will gather the documents, discuss with our licensed immigration advisors in India, or with myself and Mary, who are based in New Zealand, and we have one more licensed immigration advisor based in Malaysia. So, yeah, we will be able to definitely help your family. Good, all right. Thanks for reaching out to us. Right, Aprijit has now come back and shared his number, which is fantastic, which means he's giving me the job now of having to scroll back and read his question. So Aprijit's question was, I'm preferring to take admission for Master in Computer Science in forthcoming intake. I have 8+ years of Indian work experience as software engineer. I skeptical on how the universities are going to react, as well as the immigration department. Okay, Prijit, if your query is how will the university and immigration react, but because you're already an experienced IT professional, absolutely no problem, Prijit. I can tell you that. I keep repeating that one of my oldest clients who came to New Zealand to do a master's, not in computer science, but in language studies, was, I think, about 51 or 52 years old when she actually came to New Zealand to do this particular course. So, Immigration New Zealand and the universities have absolutely no problem in working with mature students. frankly, I don't think you'd be even that old. At the most, you must be, if I kind of do a quick calculation, if you finished your graduation at 21 or 22 and have 8 years, you're only in your late 20s or your very early 30s. And in New Zealand, we call you a spring chicken, which is a very young person. So, I mean, I aspire to do a master's in international relations, by the way. So, no problems at all. Prijit, thanks for sharing your number. We will get in touch with you. And the other reason why we would love to invite people like you to take up these studies and hopefully go on to also become future residents of New Zealand is because you're choosing something like mass computer science, and computer sciences is in our long-term skill shortage area, and we will be delighted to attract people like you and your talent and your experience to not only come and study with us and contribute to our education system, and then pick up a work visa and then join our workforce, our industry, and then contribute your skills and knowledge towards our growing IT industry. So I think you'll be considered very, very positively. And it's important that you are given continuous guidance throughout your journey into New Zealand. So work with somebody like AJV. Thanks for sharing your number. One of our advisors will get in touch with you, and we would be delighted to work with you. And we have tons of our ex-students who have done IT and are now doing very well in New Zealand. We'll be delighted to connect you to all of them. We actually have a closed group called AGV Clients Only, and they all keep helping each other there. So we'd love to work with you, Pritchard. All right? Yeah. Ahmed Mahfouz says, hey, I'm AGV student. Hey, Ahmed, any update? I mean, when border will open for international student? What is the effect on health sector job after this lockdown? Okay, I will answer your last question first. First of all, Ahmed, thanks for being an AGV student. The second question is, what will be the effect on health sector jobs? I think it will boom because COVID-19 is essentially a health crisis. So we need to throw in more workers at it to kind of stamp it out and make sure it doesn't come back into our society. So I think your second question, I will answer first and say the sector will actually look very good. And also it is essential sector. So obviously there are going to be good opportunities. And any update when border will open for international student? Good question. We have not received any intimation either from any of the institutions or from Immigration New Zealand saying that the July intake is postponed. Not one of them has written to us and said that, hey, look, there is going to be a closure, or that because of which July is not going to happen. Instruct your students that it's going to be nothing. We have not received anything. So because we have not received anything, we're staying positive, and which is what my message to all you guys and girls who come here regularly and watch my live broadcasts, especially those planning to come to New Zealand, is keep those plans on track. If you can't go get your police clearance certificate, doesn't matter because there's a lockdown in your own country. If you can't go out and get your medical test, doesn't matter. Just get everything else into place, whatever you can, all your other documents. If you're self-funding, you should be able to download bank statements from your online banking, send it all to us, and we'll put it together and we will launch the application. In fact, one of my colleagues who is a licensed advisor like myself got it in writing from immigration saying, go ahead and launch the applications even if your medicals and PCC is not there, because at the right time they will ask for that. And then at least your file will still be in queue. All right, guys and girls, so don't drop your plans. And Ahmad, as soon as we know anything about the border closures or opening or deferment of intakes, we will come back to you immediately. But right now, absolutely not a single email or any notification. All right, so go. Prijit, I have answered your question. Oh, but you've written a very, very long one again. Hmm. So your question was, I have been referred by one of my best friends who availed your service for AUT in 2015. Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that, Aprajit. Really appreciate. I don't know who is your friend, but I'm sure I would have met him because we also go now because of lockdown. We are kind of locked down into Hamilton, but as a team, otherwise, all of us in New Zealand, myself, Mary, Anjana, Virginia, Rena, Nicholas, we go around and we meet as many of our students. So Please say a big thank you to your friend, whoever it is. And I think I've answered your question, and our team will get in touch with you, and we will take it forward from there. All right? Yeah. Cool. Naveen Joshua shared his number. Thanks, Naveen. So says recession period may close the job opportunity of international students. Is it true, sir? Okay, this is an interesting question, and I would like to answer it from an angle which a lot of international students may not necessarily like, but I think it is important that I need to talk about it because Naveen, see, first and foremost, when you apply to come to New Zealand as an international student, what you got to do is you've got to show that you have the fees to pay for the course, and that you also have $15,000 as living expenses to be able to come into New Zealand. And this living expenses is not your savings. It is meant to be used for your living expenses in New Zealand, with the expectation that even in a worst case scenario where you can't find a job, or for situations like this where suddenly there is a pandemic and you can't get out of your home and you can't go out and work, that the living expenses that you have shown at the time of application are available to you to be able to take care of yourself. So I don't think international students should be um, uh, affected too much, because after this whole lockdown is, or because you have the money to live on, right? You're coming into New Zealand with that $15,000. Now, after this whole the recession or the lockdown, whatever, let's say it lasts for a year, during which time you complete your course, and then you're able to get your post-study work visa and start working. I think by that time everything will open up, and whatever you spent your $15,000, which was your living expenses, which you spent on yourself, you should be able to earn it back within no time, because you might end up with a 1, 2, or 3 years post-study work visa. So Naveen and everybody else, you guys have to, girls, guys have to understand that as international students, you will not be as well protected as, let's say, the local citizens of New Zealand. If you were already work employed in New Zealand, though, because on my team, incidentally, in New Zealand, I have one person who is still a student. She is one of our AGB students, and she is now working in AGB as our, oh, excuse me, onshore support coordinator for all our clients. And so at the time of this COVID lockdown, because she was already employed, and I applied as a company for something called the wage subsidy to ensure that we don't lose any jobs. So I actually got support to continue to pay her her salary. She's still working, and so that's the way it is. But for those of you who didn't have a job, and you'll have to fall back onto your living expenses, because that's what it was meant for. So go back to your living expenses, live off that living expenses. Once this whole recession goes away, COVID goes away, and things are back to normal, you'll earn it back in 2, 3, 4 months' time. All right. So don't stress too much about it. Anand says, thanks. You're welcome, Anand. Always a pleasure, my friend. Ame, Bishash, Omlan Bishash says has mentioned his number above. So I will have to quickly go back up. Give me a moment, guys. I'm going to. Oh, my. Hey team, can you confirm if I am still coming live on Facebook? Because I just got this screen which says that. Please confirm to me if I'm still coming live. Either my team can do it, or one of you guys who's watching it can tell me if I'm still asking, if I'm still coming through on. Yeah. It's nice to take a break and just keep scrolling up and down till I can come across. Right. So, because Amlan said, hi, Arun, quick question, getting a job. But let me wait to see that I'm still live on FB. Okay, cool. Because I'm getting a screen which says that, but they're not able to play the video. So So I'll continue talking on live FB, although it says that they can't. I can't see my own video, so which is probably a good thing. So right. So the quick question was: getting a job without valid visa is tough. Also, getting a work permit or PR visa without a job is equally tough. What would you suggest? I'm 45 today with a family, so study plus settle sounds difficult. Hey Bishash, so I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So please forgive me if I'm not. So look, when let's say there are three or four doors into New Zealand. So there is one door called the investor door. There is one door called the entrepreneur door. There is one door called the skilled migrant category door. There is one door called the steady and settled door. So these are all the different doors that are available to be able to come into New Zealand and create your future for yourself and your family. So let's say you can't pass through door one or two or three, your only option will be door four, Bishlash, because how else will you realize your dream? And 45 is not a very old age because technically, up till the age of 55, you are still able to get points towards your resident visa application. So government of New Zealand doesn't consider you old. So of course you may not get as many points for age as let's say somebody in their 20s would get. But then the guy in the 20s will not get as many points for the work experience as you do because you've had more work experience. So it does balance out eventually, and especially for couples because you say you're married. Well, study plus settle sounds difficult. I disagree with that. In fact, for couples, I think it probably makes a lot of sense because there are going to be two people who will have work visas. So let's say your wife is coming for studies. So she will have a part-time work visa while she's studying. You'll have a full-time work visa while she's studying. And after she completes a course, let's say she comes for a master's, which we strongly recommend because only then you can come with your family. Then, of course, you will get a further 3 years post-study work visa, which means your work visa also kind of goes on further for another 3 years. So because of all that, and all the while, you guys, there's like one and a half people who are earning money even while the studies are going on. So I frankly think, I'm not trying to sell this to you, but I frankly think it is a wonderful opportunity. If I were in my 40s and if I realized at that time that oh my kids and my family would be better off in New Zealand, I swear I'd have taken on a master's or I'd have pretty much convinced my wife to take a master's and I would have come on a work visa based on the fact that I have the confidence that I can find a job and then keep applying. And provided I'm in good health and good character, which is to get a police clearance certificate. So I don't think it's too late, Vishash. And if you've shared your number as you say you have, then one of our teams will get in touch with you. But also do go to my YouTube channel and also to the AGB Global YouTube channel and or go to our website agbglobal.com, and there are some videos inside there under our services tab, and there is one which says study plus settle for couples. Go through that. I've explained it all clearly how it will that particular pathway will work. I think in fact it works much better for couples than singles because there's always a backup for each other. So I'd say please take a look at it, and yeah, we would be more than happy to work with you. Aprajit says thank you, and it says his friend was Gokul. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I remember Gokul. Yeah, and he's got a fantastic last name. Please let him know that. Mhm. There is a number by Jitendra Prasad, and his leftist number. Jitendra, we will definitely get in touch with you. Um, Ankit asked me, did I get my coffee mug from Te Awaha? No, Ankit, I actually got it. Hey, Ankit, hope you're doing well. I actually got it from Kmart. Quick plug for Kmart. Rajveer Gupta asked why teaching has moved to short-term a skilled occupation list from long-term skilled occupation list because the government would have done their modeling, Rajveer, and decided that it doesn't have to be in the long-term skill shortage list any longer. Aprajit has come back and confirmed. So everybody says I'm live, although my screen is still blank here. So, well, as long as I'm going live, I think we are fine. I'm quickly checking with my team to see if they have given me any questions to answer. Right. So there is one from Jitu Krishna, and this is pasted by my colleague Sajita. And it says, I have 5 years experience in, and Jitu starts off by saying, Hi, sir, I'm AJVN. Fantastic, Jitu. You're the kind of people I really, really like. I have 5 years experience in logistics and supply chain management. Sajita Sahadevan offered me a few courses like graduate diploma in management in NMIT, EIT, Toyo Homoi, etc. I would like to know your opinion on this. I wish to work in logistics and aim for procurement manager post. Pending docs for admission. Okay, so apparently there are some documents pending still. Jitu, that's what Sajita mentions in her comments. So yeah, please send those documents across fast as you can. So if you already have a background in logistics and supply chain management, Jito, it is actually not a bad idea to take up a graduate diploma in management. Ideally, one of the courses where it has also got one or two papers in supply chain management, because at the end of the day, supply chain management will come under the larger umbrella of business, right? So because you already have good experience in supply chain and logistics, Jitu, I would say it's a good idea, unless and until you want to do a very specific course only, like a master's in supply chain or something like that. So I don't know if Sajita suggested those particular courses to you, but if there is something at a master's level only in your field, it is not a bad idea to consider that. But if you don't want to do a master's because of the cost or the level of education in terms of, it can be quite tricky and quite challenging, you are happy to do a graduate diploma in management from a city outside Auckland, because you will still get a 2 years post-study work visa. It's not a bad idea at all to do management or in business, because uh, under business and management, logistics and supply chain would be a sort of a subsect of business overall. Like, marketing is a subsect, selling is a subsect. So would be logistics and supply chain. So my suggestion to you, without obviously, I would have I don't know what advice Sajita has provided to you, would be, say if you want to do a specific, very specific PG diploma or a master's in your supply chain and logistics field. If that is not available, or if you don't want to pursue that for reasons of cost or interest, then doing something in management or a general business course is good as well. Because as long as you still get a job in your particular field, it will come under business or management, and you should be able to work towards your desire of being a procurement manager. In fact, we have one of our clients is actually now working as a procurement manager. So I will share his details with Sajita and ask her to pass it on to you. And but I think subject to you signing up and ensuring that you are working with us, and then you can actually have a chat, and he might also be able to provide some insights to you about your course. But I personally don't see any problems in you doing a course in general management or general business, if you specifically don't want to do a PG diploma or a master's in supply chain and logistics. Because if you do a PG dip or a master's, then you're kind of staying in your field, uh, yeah, and you'll also get 3 years post study work visa. But like I said, you don't want to do that, then take up a general role, take up a general management course. And even if you get a job, let's say only as an administrator after you complete this particular course, it will still come under management. So you'll still be able to find a link. And once you get into the organization, of course, you can work your way into logistics and supply chain. All right, Jitu. So overall, I think you're on the right track. But we will discuss. I will discuss more with Sujita. And like I said, also once you confirm that you're working with us, we will try and connect you to some of our clients who are already in supply chain and logistics as well here in New Zealand. All right. Thank you. Okay. Guys, this one is to my team. There is Ones who says that he has asked, he's inquired about a week ago, and nobody has yet got in touch. So yes, please, Shireen, I believe this will come to under your domain. So please connect with Honest and see how we can help him. Thank you. Right, moving on. Bijoy Job. Hi, my name is Bijoy Job. Hi, Bijoy. And his shaders number. Just want an update on cert language. Okay. Um, Good question. I will be honest. I am not very familiar with the cert language test, so you kind of caught me a little off guard on that particular one. But because you've shared your number, we'll get some details. Could you also share your email address, Bijoy? We will give you some details back on it. A couple of our team members are very good at doing putting together some quick research and sending it back. Let's see if somebody's been quick to find that research and already put it on my chat. Nope, not yet. So yeah, Bijoy, we will get back to you because my understanding of cert is not very strong. But recently, though, there was an email that I received from one of the institutions which said, okay, hang on, I might actually be able to give you that. Okay, this is yeah, great. Vijay, I'm actually going to give you the details that you asked for. And while I'm at it, it might also help other people as well. This is from one of the institutions that we work with. And so this institution actually sent us this particular details, which said you may have many students who may have booked for an IELTS, which is delayed due to the current lockdown. You may now encourage the students to use the language exam called Language Cert. This test can be taken by the student while at home and may just need access to a good PC with a camera, headphone, and good internet. The test can be booked and taken within a span of 5 hours, and results are announced much early than IELTS. And the institution goes on to say, please note that these tests are accepted by us as well as other education providers of New Zealand, along with Immigration New Zealand. Please refer to the link below for the cert as well as the NZQA table. So I'm going to open that particular table and let's see where cert is. Mhm. Okay, yeah, there we go. So language cert, this is actually on the New Zealand Qualifications Authority website, guys. So depending on what course you're applying for, Bijoy, and you haven't mentioned what level of course you're applying for. But if you are applying for, I'm thinking you'll be applying for level 7 or above. So for level 7, you require C1 expert, i.e., SOL in brackets, LRWS with pass and no less than pass in each skill. And then for the higher ones, there's a higher one. So I'd suggest, Bijoy, just go to the NZQI website and if you just say language search, it is there. Hopefully, I've given you some answer to that one. Good question. You caught me off guard there because I'm really not very familiar with the search language. All these new things are coming out because thanks to COVID. Naveen Kumar says, I'm in Christchurch and doing level 7 in IT. My doubt is if my wife done her bachelor's in India and got 6.5 in IELTS and how many points I will get in my PR. Thank you. Right. Okay. So that's a good question, Naveen, because your wife is also getting the required number of points, sorry, the required IELTS score, which is needed for a primary applicant. You would actually be eligible for the same the points of our qualification. And if I am going to look at the qualification, let me see quickly. How much today? My team has been a little slow and not backing me up. Um, they're normally very quickly giving me all these uh, backups immediately. So yeah. Right. So if your wife is as a graduate and she's also got 6.5, then you will get 10 points extra. Okay, so that is, of course, without any other verification, and we will obviously need to do some verifications because sometimes those degrees which appear to be degrees are not accepted by INZ. So it is important for us to get to the bottom of it. But to answer your question, if she has got 6.5 in IELTS and she's got a bachelor's that is acceptable to INZ, then you will be eligible for 10 points. If she had a master's, you would have gotten 20 points. But I would strongly recommend, Naveen, that you get in touch with our team in New Zealand. Talk call 0800 which stands for 0800 My NZPR. And you can talk to my colleague, Mary, who is also a licensed advisor. And she will actually do an assessment and see where you guys stand and whether you can go ahead and make a visa application for a skilled migrant category. And we'll be happy to help you. Okay, cool. Okay. Question from Sylvia, no number. Jitendra Prasad says, hello, my friend Sarah referred you. Okay, I don't know who Sarah is, or I know a lot of Sarahs, but would like to know when INZ is going to issue PVV as I applied on my own. Would like to appoint you as my advisor. Okay, Jitendra, what we will do is we will have our team in India get in touch with you, Jitendra, because yeah, I mean, it's not, a lot of you guys will go on and apply for your partner's visitor or work visa, and these are not as simple and straightforward as they appear. They can be quite tricky, and which is why we are a team of five licensed immigration advisors, and we are able to kind of sort through and we've been very, very successful with our partner visa applications thus far, and we would like to help you as well. Thanks for sharing your number, Jitendra. Expect a call from Neha Sehgal, who is our first point of contact. She gathers all the information and then discusses it with the licensed immigration advisors on the team. And yeah, we will certainly look into your case. And I frankly can't recollect which Sarah you're referring to, but please say thanks to her for referring her to you. All right, thank you so much. Excuse me. Naveen says thank you for your reply. AJ is always awesome. Thanks, Naveen. AJV also gets tired some days, like this, for instance. Right, Rajbir has asked me a question, but hey, Tim, before I think it is time for me to ring my bell because my time is up. Not my time, the time for this session is up. Hopefully, I still have a few more years to go. There you go. My team has also been ringing the bells. So, yeah, cool. It looks like I'm coming to the end of this session. There is one. Okay, Adnan asked a question. No query there, no number. Adnan, your wife is keen to process for a PhD. I have a very nice um, video on my channel. Go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob or AJV Global, and there are a couple of good, informative videos about doing a PhD in New Zealand. Please share your number so that we can get back in touch with you and help your wife and you to move to New Zealand. Last question I'm going to take for today is from Rajbir Singh Anand. Rajbir hasn't shared his number, but he says Rajbir is a casting director working in the Bollywood industry here in Mumbai. Okay, so that's the kind of friends you need to have, Rajbir. Just joking. I also work as an associate producer. I have more than 10 years of experience. I want to migrate to New Zealand. Could you suggest if I do a course in mass media, finding a job after the course will be easy in this field? And could you suggest which affiliated university college to apply for such kind of course? Hey, Rajbir, I personally have a lot of passion for the movie industry and for the television industry. At one time, I was an aspirant myself for MA in mass communication from Jamia Millia Islamia. Never did it, unfortunately. And here I am sitting in being a licensed immigration advisor. But you know what? Creative industry is developing in New Zealand, and we are the country of Lord of the Rings and so many other things. James Cameron has shifted to New Zealand, and they're working on the sequels to Avatar in New Zealand. So the industry is booming, and creative industry is in our identified future growth area. Someone like you with so much of good experience, you've also been an associate producer. Absolutely, I strongly encourage you to consider doing a master's in media. In fact, one of our current video producer, in-house video producer here in AJV, in New Zealand, is an ex-NDTV employee who came to New Zealand and did a master's in media and television and film. We employed him because he's really creative. I can think of at least two, three of my other students who came and did a master's in communication and film and TV and production and those kinds of things. They are finding jobs, they're doing really well. You, with your background and your work experience, I think you will do really well. So yeah, strongly encourage you. Unfortunately, you have not mentioned your number. I would request you to share your number. If you don't want to share it directly on this chat, you can inbox me and we will pick it up from there. Or you guys and girls can call this numbers either in New Zealand or in India, and we will get in touch with you and give you all the information and advice you want to be able to get into New Zealand and study in this beautiful country and make it your future home. All right. This COVID thing is going to go away. Do not drop your plans. Stay on the path. We have not received any information about deferring these intakes. So hang in there. Stay safe. Stay strong. And I will see you all here in New Zealand very, very soon. All right, then. Till the next time, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor and education advisor, signing off from Hamilton. Good night. Bye bye.